we need to, it's not totally in order, because we've added things in between, and the numbers won't be consistent. So it's not like you can go down the road and it'll be number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that order. It's going to hop around from one site to another site to another site. And then there's some sites that we need to take off of there, and we add to it. But we still have probably 200 of the sitemap things before we redo it. So when we get rid of those, we'll redo it. So anyway, so it kind of hops around. It's not in any logical order if you look at your map. All right. All right. So on the site map, number 1 is the Whirly Well, and it's at the top of this hill, past Hilltop, and you can see it on the left-hand side as you go up. Okay. And we're not going by that. Aiken's Cabin is another cabin which you would not even recognize. It's totally remodeled and everything, but it was the oldest cabin in Red Feather. It's off of Ramona Lake. Okay, well, in that, this might be one of those things we want to change, because it is historic, but it's for sale. They're closing soon, and we made a sign for it, a historic sign for it.
Oh, you have?
Yes,
Oh, no kidding.
and the new people may not want the sign. So if it's a site and it's on private property, that means do not trespass, okay? Because we've had a problem with going on tours and then people go back to that house that we got permission to go to and knock on the door and want to see the house.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yes. And consequently, they won't let us go on the tour again.
Yeah.
So you need to respect other people's privacy. All right. Okay, so this is the site map too. Well, it's supposedly the oldest cabin home in Red Feather that somebody lived in, okay? All right, so, and then Red Feather, if you come to the history of Red Feather, you will know that this was one of the first buildings that they built when they wanted to introduce Red Feather to the public, and that was their meeting place. It was a hotel, dance hall, office, business conference center, and so on. It is no longer standing, but one of the cabins, they had 7 cabins attached to it, and it is still standing. I don't know what it's like right now, because I see there's like several people living up there.
And several dogs outside.
I know, and they got a teepee in the back and all kinds of stuff. At one time he said they were tearing it down, but maybe if they're going to have all these people move in, somebody's living in it. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, it's kind of, the foundation is still back there, and it's behind where the craft gallery used to be, or used to be Ponderosa Realty. Okay, and you can just go look at the foundation. It's kind of on private property, but it's for sale. So, the Hiawatha Fishing and Boating is number 4. They had a boathouse at Hiawatha Lake, and this shows a picture of people boating in the 1924.
Did you say boat rental?
Yes, it says right there, boats for rent. Yeah, boat rental. Okay. The next one, when they first decided to promote Red Feather, they thought they needed to have places first of all, for people to come up and see the sights. Maybe they wanted a picnic, so they built all these fireplaces around Red Feather. Plus, they built a couple wells. Woolly Ware would be one, and that was for people to get water if they wanted to move up here. Okay, and so there are 3 of these wells. We're going to see. You can always see the one that's by the cabin, and then we're going to go by 2 of them. Now, we're going to carpool when we do this, and you need to have a car that's a little higher. I did it in my Subaru, but the road that we have to go on, called Snake Lake, is like a pain in the butt. I mean, it's the worst road I've ever seen. I mean, compared to some up in the mountains, it's pretty bad, okay? So anyway, you have to have a high-profile vehicle, okay? So you can ride with me if you want, because I took my car over it. I have room for 3 people. And then we'll carpool in a minute, in a half hour or so. All right, so this one is here, and then we're going to see two more. One of them's on Tennis Court, and one of them is on Snake Lake. Okay, they're getting a little dilapidated, or the grass is growing up around them, and all that. Fish Hatchery, which we are supposedly having lunch at. They have picnic tables there. It's in the shade, and we can sit and have lunch. It used to be a fish hatchery. This is the one I need an old picture for. Ross Reed can remember playing there, doing all kinds of things. He remembers the horses being in the pasture and all that kind of thing, but he doesn't know if they have pictures. And you know how it is when you have old pictures, you might have them hidden away somewhere.
In a box.
In a box.
Or something.
I'll even come to your house and scan them in. If you don't want to let go of them, or let you scan them and then bring.
So this is not the fish hatchery that's current?
No, and that one was also built around the same time. So that's the government. This was for the homeowner or the association, because they had all these lakes and they wanted to raise their own fish, so they didn't have to pay money. Okay? So when they fixed up the park, they had to put all kinds of drainage systems in it, because it is a swamp.
There was a spring that was in the middle of it.
Right.
My wife had her horses in there back in the 80s.
Okay.
And there's a spring that sits right in the middle. And that was the source of water for the fish hatchery.
Right. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
okay. All right. That's site number 6. The half-acre house is one that we have to take off because they do not want it on there, and I was going to put the other house on there. Okay?
Yeah, right.
The half-acre house, you can see it from the road. It's private property. They have signs all over the place. They do not want people in there. They are unhappy that we have it on our site map. Okay, so it was one of the early 1900s where they did have, I imagine it was there for when they came up and started building things. They had a tack room. They boarded horses, and they had all kinds of stuff there. People could hang out, and the kids later on hung out in the pastures and hung out in the area. Okay. Another one on the site map is the community thrift store.
Oh.
It is number 8. It's now owned by the Chapel in the Pines, and it was the first church Bible school in Red Feather. Okay, and it's still pretty much the same as it was. I mean, the outside of the building nothing's been done to it. So if you've gone to the thrift store, it's right down the road and around the corner, and they have all kinds of good stuff. You want to get there right after people have donated everything at the springtime. At the summertime. Okay. And it changes all the time because people are donating things all the time. Okay, we are going to go see the Fox Farm if we have time, because it kind of leads off of where we're going to Snake Lake, and we'll go in the back way of Fox. And we'll go to the Fox House, and that's number 9. The golf course, in their promotion, they thought they needed a golf course up here. And not the one that's Fox Acres, or not the one that's over at Mountain Meadows. They started building a golf course off of, what?
73.
It's over by the school. Yes, and it's on private property. There's only a couple things that are left that you can go up and see, but I have to get permission to do that. We will not be going there today. So they have the picture where this picture is kind of taken. I have the golf course hole remains, and that was one of the places we went to see it. Oh, whoops. Where's the spotlight? Right there. That's the one we went to see, and it kind of looks like that. But there are other holes out there that are people. It's all on private property, so you have to be careful. Anyway, they want to promote a golf course up here. When you're building a community, you've got to bring in everything that everybody wants to have. Okay, the ice house, which now there were several ice houses in the village. Because that's the only way people could keep their food cold. So Mr. Friedendahl, not this Mr. Friedendahl, Dennis Friedendahl said it used to be in that building, and then there was one on Main Street also, one of the buildings up there. Mr. Friedendahl was like the first president of the POA, and that he said that's where they met before they built this building. Mitchell Ditch is really, it was started in 1888. The system for the Mitchell Ditch, when the ranchers came up here to settle, they had to have hay for their horses, their cattle and stuff, so they needed irrigation. They needed a way to get water to their property. So the Mitchell Ditch system started. There is a interview by Dennis Frydendahl. He was in charge of the water for many, many years. Or he was the president of the Water Association. Are you now the president, Dennis?
I'm the treasurer.
Treasurer. Oh, you're the treasurer. Okay, yes. David. Okay, anyway, the Mitchell Ditch system is it's pretty extensive around here, and it helped with all the lakes and stuff. And that's when the lakes came about, some of them. Okay, and you'll see the headwater of the Mitchell Ditch. You'll see this if you go on the meadow tour.
What's happening with, it's Hiawatha Lake, I think, over there?
Yeah. Shagway.
The one that's empty.
Yeah.
It's empty.
Well, that's because it was polluted.
It got contaminated.
Today. It's on Tennis Drive. It's one of the picnic fireplaces. Also, they built a tennis court. So the tennis court was probably, we don't know exactly where it was, but it's probably in the pasture next to that, where the picnic area was. All right, we're going to go by the East Well, and see, we're going to go in a different order, and I have a paper that I printed out for you so you'll know which way we're going. This is the remain of one of the wells that was, and it's on Snake Lake. It's at the beginning where the road is pretty nice, because people still, and I said, are they ever going to fix that road? And everybody says, no, the homeowners do not want it fixed because people can't get in there. And
They like to discourage people.
They like to discourage people, right? Okay, the next barbecue, we're going to go by it. It is also on Snake Lake, so we'll see it. Oh, no, this is the one on Tennis Court. Let's see, that's the one on Tennis Court. That's the tennis court. See, it should have been right next to each other. The slide should have been next to each other. Okay, the well, then the tennis, then the other fireplace. All right, when you used to have to enter, when you came into Red Feather, you had to enter through the entryway to Red Feather was over off of Dowdy Lake Road. And we're going to drive by that. So, and this was the other clubhouse that was built in 1928. It was torn down in the 40s for the war effort because it had a lot of metal in it and stuff, to salvage it for the war effort. It's located in the area of the Red Feather Super Sportsman Cafe, and there's a foundation behind that. You can, if you ever go to the Sportsman you can go and walk back in there and you'll see some of the foundation. Okay. Yeah, really. I mean, they tore a lot of the buildings down, or they burned down. Okay, the first school, site of the Westlake School, was over on the Hardin property. The Hardins had more kids when they voted where the school would be located, so it is on the Hardin property, or it was on the Hardin property. We will drive by slowly. If I drive slowly, the ranch that you will see, I hate to park because it's kind of on a curve. If I think it's safe, we might park there for a second and just point out the Hardin Ranch. That's where Sugar Bay lived, and it's on the south side of the road as we're headed to the fish hatchery, right before you get to the fish hatchery. Okay, and the school was located kind of opposite where Westlake is. And there's just a foundation there, and was on that property. The second school is 18, and it was up here where several things have been in there. It's now a private home, and imagine it's been remodeled. You wouldn't be able to tell that it was a school. We do have the sign for the school in our shed. It's just kind of big to put in our cabin. So anyway, it was a school to begin with. Then it became a church. It was Morning Star Church, and then it became a clinic, and now it's private. The third school that was built in the present school is over off of, what number is it?
18?
Huh?
18?
Well, it's on Cherokee.
It's on Creedmoor Lake.
73.
Okay, so it's all, what do you call it normally? Creedmoor Lake, yes, Creedmoor Lake, that's it. I got too many things on my mind. I have a lot of CRS, you know. Can't remember anything. It's not anything, but, okay, Heart Rock, we just did a hike to that. Some people attended, and several people may have gone on the hike. Anyway, it is in the book, and it's number 19. It is a hike, it's not a walk.
4 miles.
It's 4 miles, yeah.
Is 18 on this?
Yeah, okay. Westlake Post Office, now this picture I took is a site that somebody said it may have been.
Wow.
There is an old cabin there, and it could have been there, but it probably doesn't, I don't know. Westlake Post Office, it didn't operate very long. You know, if you wanted a post office in the area, you could make it a post office, I think, in those days. So Samuel Perry, who was married to Martha Hardin, homesteaded just west of where Creedneck Road is, now across from the Catholic Church. He had a post office on his ranch house for a couple of years. So it wasn't there very long. Okay? And I took the picture, I just took a shot because I didn't know where it was. But the old cabin is kind of in the background. Okay, we did this tour 2 years ago. We went to the CCC camp, and it is past the Catholic Church, and it's in a housing development. It's private property, you cannot get in, they have a gate. And so it's one that you have to go on a tour, and the person who owns it does not live up here. He's very proud of it, and he's kept it pretty much like it was. So it's a wonderful tour if you haven't gone on it. And you know, he's not getting any younger, so, and who knows whether we'll be able to go much more. So.
What's there now?
It's got it's got the dining hall, reading room. It's got the well. I don't think I have a picture of it here. It's got the not the well, the tower, the water tower. It's got some storage sheds. It's got the, how many holes was it? 7-hole bathroom or something? Because it was this, yes. And they had a turnstile going into the bathroom. You had to wait in line and go in. And shower. I think the outdoor shower was there too. It's still in pretty good shape. He's kept pretty good care of it, so. Now, the buildings that you see at the top, they are at several ranches. There are some and we went on the tour of the Livermore ranches last year. There's one at the Hansons. There's several at the Hanson Ranch. There are some at the Maxwell Ranch, and I don't know where else they might be, so. But the buildings were moved, and they usually use them for cattle or hay or something like that. The next one is number 22, and we just don't have time to do this unless you guys want to change. We can go over to where the YMC camp was, and it is on Lake Erie, and it was built in the 1921s because they thought they needed to have kids come up here. In fact, Wayne Akins was real active in Fort Collins, and he wanted kids to be able to experience the outdoor life. And so they built a YMC life, and it was YMC camp, and it was for several nationalities. It wasn't just for the rich kids, you know. So they had Spanish American campers and all kinds of stuff up there. And I guess David said you have to take a boat to go over and really see the stuff.
Permission from 2 different property owners to see the things that are right around there.
Yes, right. To see it, so. And I didn't do that. Black Mountain Ranch is now at Crystal Lakes, and they say the building is still standing. Original log cabin at Crystal Lakes. We're not going there either. A Painted Post is still there, and it is now Beaver Meadows restaurant.
Oh,
It was built by the Yawkey family in the 1900s. The Bel Air Ranch, we're going to go visit where it was. It obviously has changed quite a bit. There is one of the older buildings left, but it's a pretty good hike to get there. So we'll see how much time we have. But we are going to stop at the Swanson Ranch, now owned by the Swansons, and they're going to talk to us about the history of that. Okay, the Hardin Homestead, that's the one we're going to drive by, and it's on the south side of the road before you get to Parvin. And you can see it in the distance. I've got a picture where it's a little red dot that you can kind of see from the road, right in there. Okay, Lady Moon Ranch, we'll be driving by, but you've all driven by the entryway. We're not going in there. We've had a tour there also. It's also on private property, and they don't want you. And it's just, the only thing that's really standing is the barn. And it's not sure if that was where she lived, or, because she had owned lots of property. She had lots of barns and lots of different places, so. Log Cabin, we are going to stop there and talk about Log Cabin, and I have some more pictures, and we'll point out some of the sites of Log Cabin, because I'm planning on going from the Swanson Ranch around to Manhattan and then come back to Log Cabin. Robinson Homestead is across the street, and you can visit it. It's open today. I'm here, so I opened it up. So if you want to visit it, when we get back, not now. All right, and if you haven't been in there, I can tell you more about it. Elkhorn Hotel is, there's the only thing that's left are just a few artifacts along the way, and there's some of the remains of the hotel are still there.
What happened to the hotel?
The hotel was
Did it
torn.
burn down?
Either burned down or was torn down.
Ooh.
It was one of the stops, because, they didn't have a road up the Pooter at the time. So they had to come up here, go down Pingree Hill and all that. And they had to have, just like the Livermore Hotel and the other places along the way in the Battison Barn where they could stop and change horses and all that, they had to have all these stops for the stages. And that was one of the places that people came.
Pretty nice.
Goodell Corner, we're going to go drive by it. We're not going to stop. It's also on private property, and there is some history that I've written up. But it was basically built there when they did the mining for Manhattan. Because Goodell was part of the mining part. And he was also a rancher. He married a Robinson, so the Robinsons still live in the area. And their homes they owned a lot of the land over that way. Okay, Manhattan Mining Camp, we're going to stop by. I'm not going to read it to you because I did print something out for you. Okay. It was a pretty booming town at the time. So. Nothing's there. Few foundations, a few artifacts, laying around, and
Are
that's
we going
it.
to the cemetery?
We can go to the cemetery if we have time.
Yeah, I'd go and see where.
And the cemetery is not on here, which should be.
Oh, it should be.
See?
Yeah, that's something maybe for you to.
See, well, and I know it should be, but, there's just some things that should be and some things that probably shouldn't be on it, so.
We don't want it vandalized, though.
No, well, the Boy Scouts fixed it up. It's really nice now, so. It is real nice now. Okay, the entry to Red Feather, when you go by the thrift store and keep going around the corner, that's where the entry was, and if you can believe it, they had an entry gate and, and all kinds of things where people got up and took their pictures on top of the...
There's somebody up there.
And, they said one of those cabins is still over there, that cabin right there.
And the entry,
All right, Amos's Mine, I'm going to skip these over because they're all on private property, and there are just a lot of mining around the area. Dead Man Tower, you can always go up there and tour it on the weekends in the summertime. POW camp. You will see where it was located if you go on the Meadows tour. It's up looking at the Never Summer Range. Parvin Lake Fish Hatchery we're going to today, and he's going to tell you the history of it. The Jewett Maxwell Ranch, we went there 2 or 3 years ago. And again, it's on private property, and you know, I don't like to repeat things. I can't repeat everything every year because people just don't want to be hassled that much. So, and the Maxwells still own it. It was the Jewett Ranch to begin with. The Copperbug Mine, unfortunately, Deborah Hawkins called me up and says, Pat, you got to go take pictures of the mine. I heard that they're going to tear it down. By the time we got there, it was already torn down. But we did have some pictures, and I do remember going by it. Okay, and then there were stories of people going in and sitting in the mine because they thought radon was good for you, uranium and radon.
I remember going up Clear Creek Canyon and all the old mines. We got radium. You could sit inside.
Yes.
Of an X-ray.
Yeah, Cherokee Park Ranch is another ranch that we had toured years and years ago. They don't want tour groups anymore. Trails End we went last year. Trail Creek we went last year. Diamond Mine, it's you can just see it from the distance. It's on private property. Sloan Ranch, it's right behind the Sloan Ranch. So there was a lot of mining in the area. And that's where they discovered the diamonds, you know. But it takes a lot of money to get a few diamonds, I think. They built an elaborate building, though. The Sloan Ranch is where Art and Juliana were married in 1912, and they grew up there. Quartz Mine, has it changed hands? Does anybody know? I heard it was for sale.
What?
The Knoll Homestead is again on private property. I did go up there traipsing around and took pictures of some of the leftovers because I didn't have any.
Drive by it.
You can drive right by it. It's in Crystal Lakes. And it's off of Settled on the Land. Let's see, he was a chef that settled on the land, and I didn't say what road it was on, so.
It's Testy, or I have to look it up, but it's
Yeah. It's not hard to
a
find.
little east of Tiny Bob Road.
Yes, east of Tiny Bob. Aikens is on private property. We put a sign on the property saying this was 1904, and we have all the history of Mary Aikens and everything on our website. He wanted the sign because he wanted to sell the place, and so it's it's somebody new owns the place.
Mary Ayers Aiken?
No, it's Mary Ayers. I said it wrong. It's Mary Ayers. We have that all on our website. There's a whole bunch of history on it. Log Cabin, we're going to drive by, and that's the end.